Hello guys, Shia here, coming out with the level 91 sword trial boss openers. This video was long overdue, but I finally got the chance to edit it, so you guys can see my take on how to properly start these bosses as a tank. First thing I want to quickly talk about is snapshotting. Every time I mention this mechanic, there's confusion in the comments. This is why I'm gonna explain it here quickly. And essentially what snapshotting means is that we start with Art of Resistance equipped, we press our moblade shield, and this will take the increased duration from Art of Resistance only on the first cast of our moblade shield, because as we are casting the ability we swap to Morale Chant, so every subsequent cast of it is going to be the normal duration. First, a disclaimer, for top speedrun groups, most of this opener will not be possible because the boss breaks too fast, but let's quickly take a look on how it works, and then I will rewind it and slow it down so I can explain everything properly. The good thing about this boss is that she gives us just enough time for 2 full red charges and vulnerability in between them, and if we cancel our second charge with block, we will get a counter ready, which we will not use immediately because we want to get all of our buffs in as efficiently as possible before we start doing damage again. The reshield I did here was just to show you guys it's possible to do this even without a snapshot. The snapshot just gives you more room for error, but even without it, we have enough time to do everything, and the reason I always do it is because it's essentially the easiest part of the rotation, so why not just get used to it. If we were fast enough, we have just enough time to pop Flute, which we will cancel with Parry, and this is going to give us 5 stacks of Throat Piercer art if we have it at tier 6, and right after that we use Soaring Spin to perfect dodge her attack, and because we use Ghostly Steps at the start of the fight, this gives us a 15% damage boost for 8 seconds, and if we have tier 6 Breaking Point equipped, it also gives us 5 stacks. And with slower groups or with bugs, we will start with 5 stacks fully buffed right as she breaks to do crazy damage. There's one more trick that I use here, which is a little bit hard to see, but essentially before the Soaring Spin animation ends, I cancel it with block and then instantly use Divine Counter just to get it out a little bit faster. You can do this at any point of the Soaring Spin animation, but the reason I do it after I cross to the other side is so she takes a little bit of time to turn around so I can counter her next attack, because if I cancel the spin while I'm still on the same side as I started, she would do it too fast for me to counter. Of course, depending on the break timing of the boss, some of these counters will not be possible, but at least you know how to start it properly now, so you can output maximum possible damage in the shortest amount of time. One more thing that I would like to show you guys is how I deal with her phase after she comes down from the tree, because there are some interesting things we can do there as well to bomb her as much as possible as soon as she comes down. We need to make sure we have Soaring Spin ready, because right as the yellow bar at the top is about to become full, we need to press it to perfect dodge the slow effect from the mechanic. This allows us to just walk around to dodge all of her AoEs, and we don't have to deal with the wolf phase, we can just easily dodge everything without ever being in any danger. As this phase is about to end, we need to reapply our buffs, use Flute, block first to get the counter ready, and then shield up right as she comes down to instantly nuke her when she becomes targetable. This allows us to start this phase fully buffed up, and if we're fast enough we can even get a parry in to get back our Throat Pierce and not waste any time with dealing damage. For the second boss, the mechanics we use are identical to the first one, to get as many counters in as possible, while also ensuring we get a parry and a perfect dodge in. One thing that I would like to add for serious speedrunning groups is that you want to start with your spear vulnerability first, because otherwise we are going to be applying it way too late to achieve fastest times possible. The thing I would change is just start with spear vulnerability and then Flute into block, parry, dodge. Because I already explained everything on the first boss, I will just quickly show you the timings for this one, so let's quickly rewind the fight and look at it together. For this specific opener, we need him to start with a triple swing attack, which allows us to get the counter in, and right after we get our parry, and then the Soaring Spin dodge, which is buffed by Ghostly Steps to get all of our buffs, and then we can start attacking. The snapshot we did at start allows us to delay our reshielding, so we can Flute first, then reshield into counter. And because we manually charge the next charge attack that we do, even though blocking and countering was possible here, we save the counter for when we block cancel our varied combo, and this allows us to get 3 full red charges during one shield buff. Other than the previously mentioned delay on the vulnerability buff on the second boss, we also never drop our debuff for more than a fraction of a second on the bosses, so while there might be better options for these bosses, I think that the rotations that I showcase in this video are pretty close to being perfect. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.